You know that moment, when the world goes quiet, but inside your chest, it feels like a storm. When the memories you thought you had buried suddenly rise, uprised, relentless, pulling you back into moments you wish had never happened. I've been there, and if you're watching this, chances are you've been there too. Maybe it was the betrayal of someone you trusted. Maybe it was the absence of love you desperately needed. Or maybe it was something you can't even fully name, an invisible wound you've carried for years. One that shapes the way you see yourself and the world. You smile in public, you hold conversations, you go about your life, but deep down, a part of you feels fractured. There's a quiet ache that never seems to leave. And here's the hardest part: people around you may never notice. They see the you who functions, who gets things done, who seems fine, but they don't see the nights when you lie awake, replaying conversations in your head. They don't feel the weight you carry in your chest every time a memory cuts through the day like a shard of glass. I used to believe that time alone would heal everything, that if I just ignored the pain long enough, it would fade. But instead, it burrowed deeper. It showed up in ways I didn't expect, in how I reacted, in the relationships I sabotaged, in the love I pushed away because I didn't think I deserved it. Then, one day, I discovered something that didn't just make me feel better for a few hours. It wasn't another self-help book or a motivational quote. It wasn't pretending to be positive when I wasn't. It was something ancient, something simple but fiery. Something that didn't avoid my pain, but walked straight into it, looked it in the eyes, and transformed it. It's called metta. In English, it's often translated as loving kindness, meditation. But to call it just a meditation would be like calling a lightning storm just a bit of rain. Metta doesn't just soothe you, it reshapes you. It turns the very wounds you thought would break you into gateways for awakening. It's not about suppressing anger, guilt, or fear. It's about burning through them with a compassion so fierce, so unconditional, that they can no longer hold you hostage. When I first began practicing metta, I didn't feel warm and fuzzy right away. In fact, it was uncomfortable. Because this practice will bring you face to face with the very people, memories, and parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But here's the truth. On the other side of that discomfort, there's freedom, the kind of freedom that doesn't depend on whether life is perfect, the kind of peace that stays, even when storms come. So, if part of you is tired of carrying that invisible weight, if you're ready to stop running from your own heart, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how an ancient Buddhist practice can help you heal emotional wounds you thought were permanent, and awaken a depth of peace and connection you might have forgotten was even possible. If you've never heard of metta, here's the beautiful thing: this practice is as old as the Buddha himself. And yet, it feels like it was made for the challenges we face right now. Metta comes from ancient Buddhist teachings, and it's part of what's called the Four Immeasurables, or Four Boundless States of Mind. These are metta, loving compassion; mudra, joy for others; upekkha, equanimity, or inner balance. You can think of them as the four pillars of a truly awakened heart. And metta, the one we're talking about today, is the foundation. The Buddha didn't teach metta as just a feel-good exercise. He taught it as a powerful antidote to hatred, fear, and resentment. In fact, in the ancient texts, he compared it to a wish-fulfilling jewel, something that, when practiced sincerely, naturally brings blessings not only to you, but to everyone around you. So how does it actually work? The practice of metta is like sending ripples of kindness outward. 1. circle at a time. It starts here with you. Step 1. Yourself. This is the hardest place for many people to begin, especially if you've been your own worst critic, or if you carry shame and regret. But think about it. If your own cup is empty, how can you pour into others? In this first stage, you simply bring yourself to mind and silently offer phrases like, "May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I live with ease." At first, the words may feel hollow. That's okay. You're planting seeds. Step 2. A loved one. Next, you think of someone you care about, deeply a friend, a partner, a family member. You send them the same wishes. It often feels easier, and it warms the heart. Step 3. A neutral person. Now it gets interesting. Think of someone you don't know well, maybe the cashier at the grocery store, the bus driver, a colleague you barely talk to. They have joys and struggles, just like you. Offer them METTA. Step 4. A difficult person. This is the fire. You bring to mind someone you have tension with, someone you might even dislike. You don't have to condone their actions, but you practice seeing them as a human being who, like you, wants to be happy and free from suffering. This step is transformative. It melts resentment at its root. Step 5. All beings, everywhere. Finally, you expand outward beyond family, beyond friends, beyond humans, to all living beings. Above, below, and in all directions. As the Buddha said, METTA is not just words. There are tools to make it real. Visualization. Imagine a warm light in your heart, spreading outward. Physical gestures. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the warmth, breath connection. Sync the phrases with your inhale and exhale. It's like training a muscle. You start small, but over time, your capacity to hold kindness even in the face of difficulty becomes vast. And here's the thing, the structure of metta isn't random. It's a kind of emotional architecture. By starting with yourself, you create a foundation of inner safety. Moving to loved ones builds joy. Extending to neutral people breaks the habit of only caring for our own. Facing a difficult person burns through the chains of anger. And finally, embracing all beings dissolves the illusion of separation. I like to think of it this way. Metta is not about making yourself love everyone instantly. It's about dismantling the walls that block the love that's already there. And when those walls start to crumble, your heart becomes something boundless. We all carry wounds. Some are obvious, like a scar you can point to, born from a clear, painful event. Others are invisible, but no less real. These are the silent wounds. They might come from childhood times, when your achievements went unnoticed, when you felt unwanted despite words of love, when you absorbed your parents' unspoken fears about money, appearance, or safety. They might not be tied to a single, dramatic moment. Instead, they form slowly, almost invisibly, until one day you realize they've shaped the way you see yourself, and the way you let others see you. Then there are the buried traumas, memories, so overwhelming that the mind locked them away. These can resurface in unexpected ways. Anxiety that seems to come from nowhere. Intense reactions to small triggers. The feeling of being unsafe even when nothing around you is threatening. And sometimes these wounds aren't just yours. They can be intergenerational pain patterns of fear, shame, or emotional distance passed down through families, almost like an unspoken inheritance. Here's the thing, you can't truly heal by ignoring these wounds, but you also don't have to stay stuck in them. This is where metta-loving-kindness, meditation becomes more than just a practice. It becomes a kind of emotional medicine. How metta heals in Buddhist tradition. Metta is taught as a direct antidote to hatred, cruelty, and envy. But it's not just about replacing bad feelings with good feelings. It's deeper than that. Metta invites you to turn to your pain with what I like to call fierce compassion. Compassion so steady, so unconditional, that even the most shame-filled or frightened parts of you can come into the light without fear of being judged. When you practice sending kindness to yourself, you're not pretending the pain isn't there. You're saying, I see you. I will not abandon you. You are worthy of love, even here, even now. And that changes everything. Real-world applications researchers have studied a program called Mindfulness and Metta-based Trauma Therapy MTT. For short, it's designed to help people with PTSD, anxiety, depression, and even dissociative disorders. The results: improved focus and attention, reduced physiological stress reactions, less emotional numbnessy, gentler, more compassionate inner voice. But here's something interesting. People with the most severe trauma often struggle with metta at first. Why? Because guilt and shame can make it hard to accept kindness toward themselves. And yet over time, those same people often become the ones who benefit the most. The very practice they resisted becomes the doorway to their deepest healing. A powerful example. One of my favorite stories comes from a woman who had survived severe abuse. She developed something she called the pink coat technique. Here's what she did after starting her metta meditation. She would visualize love traveling up her spine and wrapping around her head like a warm, protective coat. In her mind, it was pink, soft, safe, comforting. And for the first time in weeks, the intrusive sound memories of her abuse stopped for hours. That's the power of metta. It doesn't erase the past, but it can transform the way the past lives in you, not just revisiting pain, transforming. It's some healing approaches can unintentionally keep people looping through their pain without resolution. Metta is different. It teaches you to be present with your wounds without being consumed by them, to meet them with warmth instead of fear, and to integrate them into a fuller, freer version of yourself. True healing isn't about never feeling pain again. It's about being able to hold your pain in one hand and your peace in the other. And with metta, over time, the balance begins to shift till one day you realize your peace is heavier than your pain. Here's the truth: metta isn't something you do once in a while and then tick off your self-care checklist. It's a practice you weave into the fabric of your everyday life. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes, like breathing, like smiling at someone you love. Let's break it down into 5 steps you can start today. Step 1. Set your intention before you even close your eyes. Take a moment to decide, who am I sending metta to today? It could be yourself, a friend, a stranger, or even a difficult person. Setting an intention focuses your mind and opens your heart in the same direction. Pro tip: start small. In the beginning, choose just one person or yourself and keep it simple. Step 2. Find your phrases. The traditional metta phrases are powerful, but you can also make them your own. The key is that they should feel real to you. Here's the classic set: may you be safe, may you be healthy, may you be happy, may you live with ease. If healthy doesn't resonate, maybe you say, may you be strong. If ease feels abstract, try may you feel free. Step 3. Visualize and feel this. is where metta moves from words to energy. Picture the person in front of you smiling, laughing, living a good day. Or imagine a warm golden light around them, as if your kindness is a physical thing flowing toward them. And here's the secret. You don't have to force the feeling. Just let the phrases and images work on you, like sunlight warming your skin. Step 4. Expand the circle. Once you've sent metta to one person, slowly widen the circle. Your self-loved ones, neutral people, difficult people, all beings everywhere you can. Do this in one sitting, or you can spread it out over the day. The point isn't to rush, it's to genuinely connect at each stage. Step 5. Bring metta into daily moments. This is where the magic happens. Off the cushion, stuck in traffic, send metta to the drivers around you. Waiting in line, send metta to the cashier and the person in front of you. Feeling frustrated in a meeting, take a breath and silently wish everyone well. Little by little, metta shifts the tone of your entire day. Bonus: the one breath metta. Few don't have 15 minutes. You can still do metta in a single breath. Inhale, may I be well. Exhale, may you be well. One breath, one wish. Done. It's amazing how even this tiny practice can reset your mood, making stick. The hardest part of metta isn't understanding, it's remembering to do it. Here are some tricks. Anchor it to a habit. After brushing your teeth, send one metta wish. Use reminders. A sticky note on your laptop with the words, "May you be happy." Pair it with gratitude. End your day with one metta wish for yourself and one for someone else. Over time, something beautiful happens. You stop waiting for the right time to practice, because every moment becomes the right time. And here's the ultimate gift. The more you give metta, the more you realize it was never leaving you. It's like pouring from a cup that somehow, magically, keeps refilling. If you've been following along, you already know metta is simple, but not always easy. Like planting a seed, it needs the right conditions and your patience to grow. Here are 5 powerful recommendations to make your metta journey deeper, more sustainable, and truly transformative. 1. Start with self-compassion. Many people feel more comfortable sending kindness to others than to themselves. But here's the truth. If your own cup is empty, your metta for others will eventually run dry. Begin with yourself, not out of selfishness, but because you're the foundation. Spend a few minutes each day offering phrases like, "May I be safe, may I forgive myself, may I be at peace." And when resistance comes, and it will, just acknowledge it. I notice this is hard, and that's okay. 2. Embrace the fierce side of compassion. Metta isn't all soft and gentle. Sometimes it's fiery. That means facing emotions you've avoided: grief, anger, shame, without letting them consume you. Think of it like holding a crying child. You don't run away from their pain, but you also don't become their tears. Fierce compassion says, "I see this pain, I will not look away." The more you can stay present with discomfort, the stronger and freer you become. 3. Find a supportive community and trusted guidance. Practicing alone can be beautiful, but it can also feel isolating. When you connect with a Sangha meditation group, a teacher, or even an online community, you get encouragement, shared wisdom, and the reminder that you're not walking this path alone. If you seek guidance, choose teachers or mentors who embody the qualities you admire. Not just skill, but humility, warmth, and integrity. For integrates science and spirituality, metta comes from an ancient tradition. But modern science has a lot to say about it, too. Neuroscience shows that loving-kindness meditation can rewire the brain toward empathy and emotional regulation. Psychology confirms its benefits for trauma, recovery, stress reduction, and resilience. You don't have to choose between the spiritual and the scientific. Let them reinforce each other like two hands working together. 5. Practice patience release. Move forward some days. Your practice will feel effortless. Other days, your mind will wander, and your heart will feel shut. That's normal. Healing isn't a straight line, it's more like a spiral. You might revisit old pain, but from a higher vantage point each time. Be patient. Release expectations about how fast you should heal, and keep moving forward, even if the steps are small. Final thought. Metta isn't about perfection. It's about relationship, your relationship with yourself, with others, and with the world. If you can approach that relationship with kindness, curiosity, and courage, you're already living METTA. METTA is more than a meditation technique. It's a profound journey, a shift in how you see yourself, others, and the world. When you practice consistently, you discover something extraordinary. True freedom doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from opening your heart to it. You're no longer chained to old resentments or fears. You carry peace inside you, wherever you go. And imagine what happens if more people live this way, choosing kindness, even in moments of difficulty. That's how change spreads. That's how the world heals. So here's my invitation. If this video brought you value, please take a second to like it. Share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe to the channel, not just to support me but to help spread this ripple of loving kindness to more hearts around the globe. Because every time we choose compassion, we plant a seed, and together we can grow a forest.